trusted platform is finally here. Tellsomeone. Good day, everyone. Sanibonani Dimasiari. Today it's also one of those special days where we've got a special guest. I'm talking about they call her the waste reduction warrior. She's here with us. Maybe she'll introduce herself. How are you, Miss?
Well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good. Ndikoshaba uri. I know this other name, Barry Miss Everything. So, Habana Rotondwa Musitha. So, which one must we use today for?
Rotondwa Luruga.
Oh, okay. Maybe briefly just tell us your names in general and everything.
So, I am Mboporo Rotondwa Musitha, and those are my names.
And then maybe the viewers out there would also want to know Miss Everything, Libagai, and Notomi Sahani, Liko Trendy Sahani, stuff like that.
So the name Miss Everything was given to me by Tendo Mobilini. It was after I won 2 pageants within a space of a week. So he was like, no, I'm taking everything, so I'm just Miss Everything. So that's how the name came about. Yeah. So it's been my nickname for a couple of years.
Do you enjoy it? Because there are people who sometimes have a problem with their nicknames and say, no, Acha, I don't want to be called with that name. Do you sometimes feel like that?
No, I think it was calling upon even more greatness in it. I mean, with everything I do, or put my best foot in, I succeed. So I think, I'm just Miss Everything. Like, everything I do just turns into gold. So I think, it was a great name, and that's why I'm still running with it.
Yeah, no, I think I must also be called Mr. Everything, podcast, Tusarushaka, stuff like that. Just joking. I want you to take us through your educational background, because having you here, it will be important for the guests to understand your educational background, because even some of the people at home, the viewers, some might want to own your development in terms of crèche, primary, stuff like that. When they're seeing you here, when you're mentioning those things, they'll say, 1, 2, 3. Just take us through that journey.
So I went to primary school at Southansberg Primary School. I went to high school at Waterskole Uitrecht. And then I went to do my undergraduate in business administration at Regenesis Business School. And then I went to do my postgrad at Mill Park, where I did my business administration postgraduate diploma. Then I did a certificate through UNISA for public procurement and supply chain management. Then I completed another certificate through UNISA where I did project management. And then now I'm currently a master's in business administration candidate at Regenesis Business School.
Your educational journey is very inspiring. No, I mean, to be honest, it's very inspiring. I think we did the right thing to have you here, leading to the Women's Month, to the Women's Month. I mean, to have someone who's not just only intellectually good, but she's also educated and stuff like that. I want you to take us through your modeling career. How did everything start? Did it start when you were at primary, secondary, or is something that you just developed all of a sudden out of maybe seeing somebody? Please take us through that.
So I wasn't one of those kids where you grow up and your mom was like, no, at a young age you used to be a model. No, it started very late. So I started modeling in high school. So it was very late in life that I started modeling, and it only happened because some lady was like to me, oh, you're tall, you're dark, and you're beautiful. I think you'll do well in modeling. So I went out and I tried it out. Mind you, I'm a very shy person in front of the camera, so it was one of those where when the questions come, you just, you wing it, and sometimes you don't wing it the right direction. So that's how my modeling journey started. And then from there, I went to be a part of an agency, and I was fortunate enough to do editorial work as well, work on SA Fashion Week. So yeah, I've had a few campaigns where there was one big one that was all over South Africa. And there were billboards for Cryolan all over, and people would be like, "This is you," and I'm like, "Wow, okay." I didn't think I would find my face in Bloemfontein or any other province for that matter. So yeah, it's basically been like that, and then I stopped modeling about 2 years ago because I had to prioritize. So it was either school and business, or modeling and school, or modeling and business. So I chose business and school.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. I did not quite get the primary, the secondary issue. Well, did you model when you were at secondary?
Yes, I modeled in high school.
Was there someone nurturing that talent at the time? Did the teachers motivate you, or they wanted to streamline you to education, like what we see these days,
So modeling was always a side thing. My parents were very supportive. So my parents never missed a pageant I did. So they would come and support. And the typical African parent would be like, how do you support your child walking around naked? And my parents were like, it's what she likes. So they motivated me, encouraged me, and were my biggest support structure. And every pageant I did, my mom had to go buy a new dress. So she's always like, yeah, you're an expensive child, but And modeling actually helped me get off the street, because you need to pay attention to what you're doing, how you're eating, who you're involved with. So those things play a part into how you live, because tomorrow it comes back. Let's say I wanted to do a certain pageant, and I've lived in a way that is not appeasing to the brand. It becomes a problem in future. So yeah, I think modeling actually helped shape the woman I am today as well.
And one other thing is that we're living in a very I don't want to say patriarchal society. We're living in a society where people just do not understand that a person can take part in things like modeling and stuff like that. So even when you were busy doing these things at high school, did you not receive any bad vibes from people, or like you are maybe doing something that is out of this world, and maybe that demotivated you or stuff like that? Did you feel at some point that maybe you're doing something immoral, in society, or you just went with the passion that you had at the time?
I just went with it because my parents were supportive, and I think entering pageants out of Makhado, out of Vhembe, was one of the best things I did, because you get to a point where you realize that there's so much more in modeling. You can network, you can meet sisters. There's so much you can do with just being a model, and the perception is always that you can't be a model and be smart, and there's so many things that go with being a model. So I was just also trying to disturb that status quo, and disrupt it to a certain extent, and I think I've done my bit.
So like there are certain things, like maybe in fact the first day maybe you went on stage like and something that looks like paint, so you do not feel like you are doing something that must not even be done. How did you feel the first time? I can imagine, I know those costumes where you'll be, and then everything is just there,
No, it felt morally okay, because it's a beauty contest, it's a pageant, it's one of the elements that are part of most pageants. So it felt normal. The girl next to you is wearing a bikini. There's really nothing, or nothing came to my mind that made it seem like it was morally wrong. So yeah.
No stalkers, when people start to see you on stage, maybe you've revealed, so they'll be texting you hi, and stuff like that.
No. It's even when you're wearing a bikini, it's very appropriate still, because everything is covered, and then sometimes you can even wear a sarong if you're not comfortable.
You wear what?
A sarong. Oh. So that cloth.
So are you allowed to model with that sarong?
Yes, you can. You can. There are pageants that allow you to.
Oh, but it means like then maybe isn't it sending a message that you're not comfortable in your own body or stuff like that when you wear? Because I know for a fact that when I go to modeling, I would want to assess the goods at the front to say no, there's life there's life there,
But you can see life. You can see life through it. Your confidence will ooze through regardless, because your confidence is not hidden in that sarong, not at all.
So take us. Were there any individual awards that you won? Maybe take us through all the awards that you won. I know maybe it might be difficult to remember some of them because I'm told there are so many, Let us deal with the smaller ones, because I know when I say Rotondwa is here,
oh wow,
there's one lady there. I know her name is Kudan, she's probably watching there. She wants to know where did Miss Everything start with everything,
It started from primary, funny enough. I think there were just things that I never picked up until you go to your primary school and your teachers are like, this one has always been, that child. And I'm like, okay, I didn't see it in myself then. I think the first trophy I got was for loyalty in primary school.
Yes.
So I got a loyalty trophy. In high school, I can't remember. Maybe I did, but I can't recall. Then I went on to receive a True Shine Award for my community service or my acts in community. I was nominated as part of the Sunday World Heroic Women last year under sustainability and environmental program. And then I went to win a 2019 PETCO award where I was a youth waste reduction warrior. Shucks. I went to win, I placed 5th in Access Bank's Pitchathon.
I'm gonna come to that. Those ones. In fact, I want I'm gonna come to those things. Yeah, those are serious things. The modeling awards,
those pageant titles. Okay. So I won Miss Makhado, I won Miss Makhado FM, I won Miss Vhembe. I placed twice as Miss Mamelodi Sundowns Limpopo, one as first princess and then the other one as the princess. I went to do Miss Heritage South Africa, where I was Miss Heritage South Africa. I did Miss Commonwealth South Africa. Then I went to win Miss Commonwealth Popularity in London.
You went to London?
Yeah.
That's quite an interesting journey.
So those are the ones I can remember. And then I won Miss Triegie as well when I was in high school. So those are the ones I can remember from the top of my head.
I know. This is an interesting modeling journey, I must admit. So maybe before we go to the business side of things, I want to understand. I've got 2 questions on modeling. I want to understand, is there a specific body that must model? Because all of you, when you see them, you adhere to a certain not size, height, and you are a bit. Is that the requirement, or?
So it moves from either pageant to pageant or fashion show to fashion show. So with fashion shows, there's a certain height you must meet. There's a height requirement. With the traditional pageants, there was a certain body type they were looking at. Or let me say, people of a certain body type entered those pageants. So now we've moved to a space where they've become all inclusive. And it's now highlighted that we accept all body types when you're doing pageants. So I think we've moved away from the same body structure, hair, and everything. I think even with Zozi and Shudu, those were 2 that also disrupted, the whole scenery as well in terms of how your hair should be as a pageant girl. And so I think we've moved away from what everyone believes is a typical model to being all inclusive.
So tell me, and I want you to be very honest to our viewers out there, if given an opportunity, would you still model again?
If given the opportunity, I think I am still going to model. I just need time. I just need time.
But you do miss modeling,
It's one of those where it helps you, it helps the next girl. So it has a way in which it changes not only myself but also the next person.
No, that's fantastic. And then on the flip side of things, we are reading about you in various media platforms, various social media platforms that you have. You are the owner, founder of Trash Converters. And how did the idea come about? I mean, from trash to modeling. I want to.
So another nickname I have is Trash Queen, which a lot of people who don't know where it comes from have an issue with it, because it's like it's not trash, and so we have to explain that. So how that came about was when I was doing my postgrad. I did a study I had a module called Environmental Management and Social Responsibility, and within that would have conversations with my classmates about how we are the contributors of the environment in terms of its lifespan, and we contribute to climate change. So with such, I sat down and thought, okay, I don't really know of recycling companies in my hometown. And so I spoke to a friend of mine who I initially started the company with, and then I registered the company with, and then when it was time for us to relocate to Limpopo to actually start the work, she's like, I don't think I'm ready for this. So I had already resigned from my job at the time. So it was either I go back and ask for my job, or I continue on the path which I said I was going to go on. So I traveled, I came back home, I sat at home for 2 weeks without doing anything because I was heartbroken, because we were supposed to start this together. She was supposed to hold my hand, and it would have been simple. So I came back, and then there's actually a buyback center that was in town, or is still in town. So I went there and asked if I can shadow, and they said no, they don't allow such. What I would have to do is that I would have to collect material and then sell it to them. Fine, I start collecting material. I'm driving a Ford Figo by then. I drop the seats, I pack material, so I'm packing boxes, and then I load them into the car, I take them home, load them into bags. I'm told
at home there was garbage everywhere.
I take it home, I load it into 1-ton bags, and so, bit by bit, I'm piling, and then I'm selling to this man until I decided, no, why am I taking so much material and selling it to the middleman instead of actually collecting it and selling it to the end user? So that's when the stockpiling you heard of started. So I started stockpiling from the back of the house all the way to the front, where if you were passing, there was no way you'd miss the material that was there. There was just so much material, and to a point where my mom was like, this house now belongs to me. And I stockpiled at home, and then I also stockpiled at Tumelo Siliga's farm. So it was an interesting journey leading to coming and building here at Mwanajeri.
So your mother never actually said, or your family, your mother and father,
no. So what happened is that the first day ndichi ite zokoleka ndenda ringisa ya mabogisi ndavena 98 randa ndafanya ngachira mwananga haumeli mushumoni asuri kotomukandera haumeli mushumoni. So it took time for my parents to understand no mwana kuita ni aboko pesa. I think the best or the closest thing they had to mind was avala batanga bonopusha zitroli uruzombo ndino mtu. And then eventually ndavaisa Alex vakonothoma bona matraka, so mkana vasoko ndezvi okay hi ungari you're onto something. Then slowly vatomo to buy into it, and then that's how we got to actually realizing there's just so much potential in this industry.
From the conversation that we're having, it appears that you have very supportive parents. Because to be honest with you, if you decide to just start collecting garbage in the community and bring it home, hey, there will be hell to pay. But with you, I mean, they put up with it, and I mean, look where you are now.
They joined in as well, to a point where people thought we were just a crazy family. Like, so because that's how it was. Would go to a wedding, plastic in the and you'd look at us like, is everything okay? I mean, now so yes, somebody numbers of Jena Matoni, Namumbro, Nasno, Carabia, Mabambiri, Burabia, Mabogisi, Avacono Firachi to Badani, like they'll even call Tavanama Bogisi guy. And I'd, get on the road and then Did you at some point, or maybe I need to ask this, was your business paper based, like, or maybe did you struggle finding, what were your challenges with regards to maybe just having a kickstart? What were the major challenges that actually prevented you from starting? But you started, of course, but what were the hiccups? One of the hiccups was just having land.
Oh. Okay.
That already was a big hiccup because I had to stockpile at home, and it's not allowed. Another one was transportation. I started with a Ford Figo, so you can already imagine it's a private car. I'm folding boxes and I'm putting them inside. Luckily, I had a car because there are people who actually start without a car. There was also accessibility where people were like, no, like mabogisi should maspara, like why must we give you mabogisi? But the woods maratia kwa dustbin shuna abarndijie hafino ndia maspara. So there was also that. Yeah, they've been money also being another one, because uchitoma, you think then you actually forget to business you're recycling. It's a volume-based business.
Yes.
So that is 20 kg, the core 20 kg, and uchi says that one ori the hasa like as charity. Then it means ori I must go back. Uchi kochimbira wasubantama bogisi. It's a lot.
No, I think we must intensify this fight to get our land back. Land is a problem, ladies and gentlemen. It's being said now, it's not me. And another thing, you seem to have this maropa, this blood for recognition, not even only in South Africa. Because if you went to England, showcased your modeling talent, but now there are international papers, is it continental? They are talking about you locally and stuff. Like, take us through that. There is some publication in Africa which was talking about you most recently.
So the most recent one was with Access Bank Nigeria. Yes.
Yeah.
So I got recognized there. I placed fifth in a competition where we were pitching our businesses. So I placed fifth, and then I won some nairas. And then so yeah.
Is this naira good money? Is it good money? Reachila maranga naira.
I arsokofara rende. Arsokofara rende. But don't worry, it's not money neungai doba like lasa zwingwe.
And then this Santam womanpreneur.
So that was Sunday World.
Yes.
Sunday World, where it was a nomination for heroic women and environmental and sustainability.
You are getting all this recognition.
We're trying.
Is there anyone in Limpopo who does what you're doing?
There's quite a few.
But they're just not doing it better than you.
I don't know, I don't know. There's someone in there so no tampakuri. Because I'm not the first, but the accolades and the recognition is not the usual one or not the normal one. So There's something in the water.
There's this. I saw some pictures in Musina. What were you being recognized for? You were holding checks and it's like it was money. I just said, no, she's doing it again. She's collecting, but this time around she's not collecting trash. She's collecting money.
So it was for the Vhembe Youth and Business Competition. Yes, so I placed second under economic development.
Oh, and there were some other youth as well who don't you think you were like a bit bigger than the award that you were given?
No, I'm never too big for an award. Never. I'm never. Even my friends will tell you I'm never too big for any award.
So, one other thing that aspiring business women would want to ask is, how do you find time to juggle between your work? I mean, it was difficult to get you here, and then your social life. And you like hiking, by the way, né? And you got. By the way, she's an adrenaline. How do you juggle around these things?
It's hard. I won't lie. Most of my life is centered around work. I think I work more than I play, which I'm trying to balance a bit better, do better. So yeah, finding the balance, I'm still trying to get it or find it. If someone does know how I can find the balance, please do advise me. I am willing to take advice on that. I am willing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm still trying to find the balance. But when I do have time, I hike with my friends. We go play in the mud.
Yeah.
You know?
And you are the leader there. You lead at the front there.
No, I'm part of I'm what they call the rescue team. I'm what they call the rescue team. So I help recover the guys who, you know how guys are, yeah.
And one of the frequently asked questions these days is, I mean, you are making it big in business. You are a woman. You are a lady, in fact. Are you not receiving any patriarchal tendencies from male counterparts who maybe want to put you down or feel threatened by your success because you are a lady? And if that is happening, how do you handle it?
No, it's always there. It's always there. People come and they want to see the boss or the owner. And you get there and you're like, how can I help? And they're like, no, I'm like, oh, no, so I call one of the guys and I'm like, and you know, it will end up coming back and they'll end up saying, but you know, you are so small, like how do you get to doing this? What, you know, came to mind when you started this? There's a level of being inquisitive that comes about. I think how I'm dealing with it is that I'm not focused on it. I'm more focused on the work we're doing. Because if I focus on being female and little, then my focus will be on that and instead of working. It happens a lot and people want to demotivate you using that. And if you allow yourself to be demotivated by that, then, you know, that's the honors are on you. So I try and, you know, shift my focus and not have it there. So it's also about the contribution you make, because my work is not literally based on anything but the actual work we contribute to society. So the work speaks for itself at the end of the day to say, you know, I'm disrupting the norm or the status quo, and you know,
No, that's you are just unpacking so nicely. Sometimes I even forget what to ask you because I'm just busy listening. Tell me, are you engaged in other programs where you are helping the needy or others who want to grow in business, in particular women and stuff like that?
So there are people I do mentor who come and ask for help, and then there are females, luckily, who sometimes I get work to do in other provinces and I can't do, so I normally pass it to them and say, can you handle this, can you do it, you know, let's see how we can go about it. One other thing is I'm big on sharing in terms of information, so I think everyone around me knows if I see something and it relates to you, I'll send it to you. And if there are opportunities that, you know, we can tap into, I'll always send it to you. In terms of helping, I'm helping kids. I'm helping school kids. I'm helping the youth. I also run a NPO. It's called Channel. So it's basically narrating stories and telling stories. So we help with school things in terms of stationery, school shoes, jerseys and the likes, just, to give them an upper hand.
Oh, that's wonderful. But looking at with what you're mentioning, looking at the Limpopo as a province and Vhembe, do you think that the ground is fertile enough for other women to do business? Looking at your challenges, of course, do you think that the ground has been leveled to such an extent that women can come and just stay afloat in business?
Women can come, stay afloat. The ground will never be leveled. But there is fertile ground. You just need to get into it and be focused. There's a lot of things that can derail you. More so, I think one thing that derails us or that shifts our focus is that you'll get R1 today and you want to spend 150. You'll never grow. You'll never grow. You really need to get to a point where you are like, I'm stepping back and I'm cutting off certain things in order to grow what I want to grow. So even the lady who won first place in that competition you were talking about, she's doing well. We must commend other women for also doing well, but she's doing amazingly well. So it's one of those things where if you know what you want to do and not trying to imitate what others are doing, do your research. The ground is fertile.
But you're getting me worried. At your age, I don't want to mention your age. you are speaking so much sense about everything. I mean, where do you get the wisdom and the tactic and strategy to have what you're having and not just squander? Because I know for a fact that if it was me, I would be seen there and there. How do you maintain the discipline, to just keep everything going, young as you are?
That's a hard question. That's a difficult question. I think my friends are very old. As much as you know how young I am, my friends are also very old. I am surrounded by a pool of wealth, if I can call it that, in terms of intellectuals, people that, just inspire me to be better. So I think just looking at them, it has helped me shape my life in the direction it currently is in. The other thing is that I love nice things. So with loving nice things, you realize that you need to work hard in order to attain those things. So, I mean, one of the cars I want to own is a Trackhawk, SRT8 Trackhawk. So, I need to work very hard. I need to work very hard. I want a chopper, the nice things in life. So I need to be disciplined about it and, work towards those things. So, yeah.
And you know what they say? They say when you're at the top and you fall very hard. You feel the pain. So I guess maybe you also want to stay there to avoid the
I think you fall hard when you don't realize that the people around you are the people you need when you're going up and down.
I hear you. Any plans to have trash converters in Bulugwane?
Big plans. Big plans. I really want to have satellites in Africa.
You're dreaming big. Africa, not just Mabungeni, Africa. I want you to speak to that lady who's listening now. She wants to start. She's undecided. Maybe she's got hiccups. Just talk to that lady. She's there. She's watching you now as we speak.
So to the lady that wants to start, it will never be perfect, and if you're waiting for it to be perfect, you'll never start. It's important that you start where you are with what you have, and you just close your ears out from the noise. There'll always be noise. There'll always someone telling you you're not good enough, or it's not sustainable, or it can't be done. But it's important that you close out the pollution and you hit the ground running. You will come across hiccups along the way. Those shouldn't deter you. They'll always be there. There are always challenges. Just like in life, there are seasons. You know, it won't always be summer. So when you go through winter, you know, sit tight. It will be over soon. So yeah, just, you know, start where you are with what you have.
You know, I must admit, you are a very beautiful young woman, intelligent, educated, and stuff like that. Is there Mr. Everything?
Let us give that one.
I'm sure people want to know, I mean, with all this wisdom, where is Mr. Everything, you know?
Let us leave that one out of it.
Oh, okay. I'm told to scrap that one out. I'm sure people want to do, hey, they are so dead. But hey, it says, gee, why don't you ask it again? Oh, really, you know, personally, to be honest, I want to thank you for coming here. Hey, I learned a lot. I learned a lot. I mean, I really wish that you can just conduct some business seminars where you can just impart this knowledge. You are a very good speaker, and you have experienced a lot. I mean, at your age, you know a lot of things, and maybe you must do that, you know, conduct business seminars and stuff like that. Has it ever crossed your mind? It
has a couple of times, but not me being in the forefront. I wanted to invite those in business to come and, you know, inspire others.
Hi, it was lovely having you, Miss Everything. And I think you will give our sincere regards to Mr. Everything as well.
I will do. Thank you so much for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our show. My name is Ramagoma Rendani, aka the SG. Sharp.